fans, do you want to win your share of $100,000? Simply enter the houseofboxing.com Fight Night Prediction Challenge. Compete with boxing fans around the world. Simply head over to houseofboxing.com and sign up now.
Right. Matt Lenihan, Boxing Social in association with House of Boxing and Empire Fight Store. Been joined by Eddie Hearn. We're here, Leigh Wood, Josh Warrington. The press conference, it's been very respectful in the build-up, but I spoke to both yesterday, having a little dig at each other. Leigh Wood calling him jealous when he rolled up in the Ferrari. Josh went off a bit and says, heard stories, dead man walking at the weight. What do you make of it? What can we expect today at the press conference?
I think I saw that, also Leigh Wood saying he's going to hurt Josh Warrington, he's going to knock him out. And it's just like you say, when it's been so respectful, you hear he said that. That's what we want. We're 2 days away from a mega fight for British boxing. 2 days away from a complete 50-50 of two-time world champions. Again, I'm not bored of saying it now, but Nottingham, Leeds, Sheffield in the middle. There is so much on the line. The intensity, the atmosphere on Saturday. It's going to be a special night. I tell you, this undercard is fantastic as well. Really, really good. But the main event is breathtaking, and both boys absolutely desperate to win.
Leigh Wood said that the City Ground, he says, we've been promised it and promised it and promised it. So it's in the contract. Any truth to that?
Yeah, it is. His next fight, if with us, will be at the City Ground. And, if we deliver at the City Ground, it is with us. So that's the pressure that he put on us. October, never a great date to do an outdoor event, specifically when you've got a football calendar underway. And it wasn't possible this time. We would love to have been there. But, I think if he can win, it sets up a massive fight for anybody. He's almost at the stage now. We know both guys have got Komatov, the mandatory for the winner. It's unlikely they'll fight him, in all honesty, because I think they'll just be looking for the mega fights at that stage. So we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, City Ground for Leigh Wood if he wins, and probably Ellen Road for Josh Warrington. So everything on the line.
Absolutely. Look, I want to ask you, Alycia Baumgardner, have we had an update from the adverse finding yet? I feel like we haven't talked about it in a while. Alycia Baumgardner, has there been any form of update? Because I know it was, say, over there, that commission. Has there been any form?
The Michigan Commission are now running their own investigation into that. I'm not been brought up to speed of where they are, but I know it is underway. So, definitely the governing bodies and everybody will want that to be underway before she can move forward. And I'm sure she wants to get that underway as well, so she can prove her innocence. So I believe that is underway with the Michigan Commission now.
Someone sent me a message this morning saying it's a year to the date since we found out about Conor Benn's findings. What a year! What's the biggest sort of thing you've learned from all this thing from the start to now? Because it's been a year, and once again we are still talking about it. But what's the biggest thing you've taken away from it?
That people have different energy towards different things and different people. You're talking about one previous test you just brought up there. No one's mentioned that since the adverse finding came out. With Conor Benn, they've talked about it every day for a year. I think he's made mistakes. I think we made mistakes. I think the board made mistakes. I think the system learnt a lot, because I still think it's very unfair to blame us when we were reliant upon the governing body making a decision. But I think the grey cloud over what they should do didn't help them, and it ended up dragging on to a point where, one, it looked bad, and two, it ran too close to the wire. So I think the positives to come out of it, of course, are that we are investing probably 5 times more now than we are on testing than any other promoter in the world, and we were. And I think that there's more vocality around the findings. So I think in the past it's almost like, there's been an adverse finding. You have to understand that you're under a lot of pressure as well from a fighter and their team and their legal team, because once that information gets out there, you're guilty immediately. A fighter wants to have the opportunity to prove their innocence not behind closed doors, but you understand what I'm saying, without noise and without agendas and without outlets already hanging them out to dry.
Or builders.
What?
Or builders.
Yeah, but I think, ultimately it is a private and confidential case. That's not our desire, that's the rules of the hearing. So, but I think now you're getting to a situation where we now appreciate as well, when there is an adverse finding, regardless of that, we must make people aware. And I'm talking not talking about the authorities, I'm talking about the wider picture. Because we don't want to get told, even though a lot of it is bound by confidentiality, we don't want to get told, you kept it quiet. We never keep it quiet. We tell the governing bodies, we tell the sanctioning organisations, we tell the fighters, and that's really our job. But beyond that, I think there is more, there's a desire for more visibility for fans and for media to actually know when something has happened.
Just quickly, Anthony Joshua said on DAZN Boxing, he said about Tyson Fury, Fury's a duck. whether he's ducking me, maybe not right now, he's definitely a duck. This is in a conversation with KSI. Now the fight with Fury is signed and on. What do you make of them comments?
We'll believe it when the fight happens.
You doubt it happens?
No, yeah, I do. I mean, I think it will happen. But can you categorically, across the history of this situation in Tyson Fury, put your hand on heart and say 100% this fight happens in December or January? I mean, I believe it will. But at the same time, we know how hard we tried to make that fight. We know what he demanded, the pressures that he put on the situation. I think Tyson Fury thinks he can beat Anthony Joshua. But if he wanted it as badly as maybe he said it would, maybe things would have planned out differently. Irrelevant now. You know, we've got to make our own fight.
Last one from me. KSI, Tommy Fury, will you be watching?
I'm going to go, I think. I think I'm going to take my daughter. I mean, you know, they're more excited to go to that fight than they are to come to, I don't know.
Who wins?
I don't know. I've got to say Tommy Fury, but KSI's he's just strong in the mind. We'll see.
Eddie, appreciate it.